What's up, manifestation queens? It's your manifesty bestie. And oh my God, I have so much news for you. It has been a wild year so far. So much going on. I'm just back from vacation in France, and I told you the stories of France and all the crazy things that happened there, which I'll get into another time for another episode about how you react to people, particularly people who stand up in cafes and say, "Can you tell your kids to calm down?" So yeah, it was just a little bit of a whirlwind, but it was a gorgeous vacation. But anyway, I am going to take you back and give you some of my personal news that's coming up for me. And this is a crazy manifestation, but it's also a conversation on self-sabotage, fear, losing hope, doubt, and trying to stay the course when you're manifesting. So all of you know that I am a corporate lawyer. And after the loss of Polly at 5.5 months, I started Pause Penny. And the brand was started really just, for me personally to go through grief, but then it just kind of grew legs and grew, and I created the business. And I have realized over time that this is my passion. And this is what I'm really, really passionate about. I absolutely am in my element when I'm on stage, when I'm doing the podcast, when I'm creating manifestation documents. So this is what I truly love. However, it's a new business, and every new business takes time to grow and expand and evolve and generate income, right? So I have my corporate career, which is steady. I go to work, I get my paycheck, and I actually genuinely like law. So it's not like I went to the office and I absolutely hated it. But what was starting to happen was I was just getting stretched. So between the corporate law, the podcast, and the business, I'm just pulled in so many directions, not present with my kids, trying to do 100 things at a time. And just even I had the realization when I went to France that I didn't get to enjoy any of the run up to France because I was so busy before it. I bought no new clothes. I know these are first world problems, but like no nails done, no tan done, no clothes, no outfits for the kids, Amazon at the very last minute to try and get some stuff like, life vests and jackets and stuff for the kids for swimming while they're there. Like I should be enjoying the run up to the vacation, and I didn't. And it made me realize how much I'm stretched. And also, it's kind of quite funny. After our manifestation challenge, the 21-day manifestation challenge, I asked people for their feedback, and the feedback was amazing. It's always really good. It's a great challenge. I really believe in it. The next one doesn't start till January, but will be open in September. But one lady contacted me, and she said she just saw it on stories. She decided on my Instagram story, she decided to sign up. And she loved it, and she had great feedback, but she wanted to say one thing to me. And one of the things she said was, "I've been recently listening to your podcasts and looking at you on podcasts, and you look tired." And I was like, yep, that is the truth. Now, I could have been like, I'm trying to do all these things, yada, yada, but it's the truth. I am tired because I am so stretched. So I have been feeling like this for a long time because I went back to work after I had the twins in 2024. So for the last year, 2024 was such a juggle with the twins, 4 kids, and trying to have the business. So in September of 2024, I went to Elevate Fit Fest, and I was there with Orla. And Orla does all the kind of behind the scenes stuff. My Zooms, anything I ever, my email letter, she puts them all together. She's amazing. And I started to get this feeling in 2024 that I don't know what it was, if it was intuition, but I started to get the feeling that in September 2025, something big was going to happen. And sometimes I get these thoughts about the future. I'm like, something is going to happen. And I think that is your intuition. I think that is your gut feeling. And it also coincided with the fact that all of my kids will be in some sort of school or preschool this September. So the twins, Penelope will be going into junior infants and the twins will be going into Montessori. So September was something that just like the kids are all going to be in some form of school. My life is going to change a little bit, but there was something more. There was something more and I didn't know what it was, but I felt like it was career related. So I was saying this to Orla and saying it to some other people as well, close family members. I was like, I don't know what it is, but September 2025. Ready, set, manifest. This September, live in the Sugar Club, the manifestation masterclass with me and international manifestation coach, Matt Cook, and soon to be published Penguin author is coming. This is going to be the event of the year. So get your tickets. Sunday, September 14th, it's a day event. Get them on thesugarclub.com. So anyway, I started to like really toy with the idea of, am I going to continue in law? Is this feasible? You know, some days I'm just like, I can't do this anymore. I can't give my all to law because I'm so busy, but I also have that reoccurring paycheck, which is handy. And the one part of my side business or my business, Pause Penny, that I don't like is the constant slog and graft of trying to make sales, which I think a lot of people hate. I don't mind the social media. I don't mind all the talks, all the Zooms, Insta Lives, but the constant slog of trying to push your product all the time is annoying. But anyway, so kept working on my business, kept being consistent, and went to a psychic and a soul healer. So kind of a soul, Amber was on the podcast, Amber Moon, and she does kind of like soul healing, Reiki sessions, and she's also connects like with people as well. Like she'll give you kind of guidance. So I find her really good. If you have a block, a manifestation block towards something, I would suggest going to her. And I remember doing a session with her and she said a couple things. She's like, something's going to happen in May. This was earlier in the year, so around February. Something's going to happen in May. And during my soul kind of healing session, everything that kept coming up was purpose, 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 purpose. And that was the word. And she said a couple of other things to me. But anyway, I remember after that healing session thinking, like, I've got to start backing myself and believing in myself. So I had this September 2025, this idea, and then I went to a psychic. And the psychic said to me, this is wild. This was in March maybe. And his name is Des. And Des is going to come on the podcast at the end of July. And I've been to see him before as well. I'm not allowed to go back to him again until I do the work. I'll talk about that on another episode. He's like, don't come back to me again. Like, do not come back to me again until you've done the work. I'm like, I'm fine. I don't have work to do. Everyone has work to do. We all have work to do. So he said to me, are there redundancies in your company? And this was March. And I said, no, because there weren't at the time. But I was very aware that I work in a biotech company and it's very risky. Pharma, biotech are very risky and everything is based on, your clinical trial outcomes. And I knew that in Q2, which was by the end of Q2, which was publicly available information, that we were going to get clinical trial results on a phase 3 drug for a very rare disease that we'd been working hard on. And what happened in May was we found out that the drug didn't meet its endpoints, so the company would need to be restructured, which effectively meant that I found out that my role is redundant, which means that I have 3 months' notice and I finish up in September 2025. Now, this is really exciting, but scary. First of all, my hope and my dream was that our clinical trial would succeed for this rare disease. I've heard the patients speak, and it's devastating what this rare disease that we're working on does. Just absolutely devastating. And I am so sad for them. But I think I knew overall that even if we were successful, I couldn't continue forever. But my biggest challenge was, it's not just me that I need to think of in terms of a career. I have a family. I have a husband who we have to make decisions together. I can't just say, I believe in myself, I back myself. By the way, he's the biggest supporter of me. But still, he still was like, no, Yvonne, you can keep your job until maybe you explode. So I kept saying, something's going to happen in September 2025. And I kept saying this little prayer to the universe that was, put me on the right path. Show me the way. Send me the signs. And for me, I think this is the sign. This is the sign that I need to go all in and back myself. But I will tell you this. The minute that I heard the news that my role would be redundant, I was like, oh, I wonder what subscriptions I have that I should count. Like, I already immediately went to start thinking about money and subscriptions. And I was like, Yvonne, stop. Like, you teach manifestation. You have to back yourself and believe in yourself. But no matter what, no matter if you're a manifestation coach or a spiritual leader or whatever, I do trust that everything will work out. And while I was waiting for whether or not I was going to be made redundant, I kept saying to myself, everything always works out for me. And I knew that if the decision was made that my role would be made redundant, then that was my sign that I needed to go all in, right? But if I wasn't made redundant, I knew that that was the right decision as well, that I had to wait. It wasn't my time. Maybe it was I just wasn't there just yet. Like, I had a conversation with my friend who also, her company was going through redundancies, and she really thought and wanted to be made redundant. She wanted to, and she really believed that she would be, and she wasn't. And she actually was disappointed. But I remember we had this conversation, and I was saying to her, trust that it's all going to work out, that there's a bigger reason. You might not know it yet, but even if you don't get the news that you want, trust that everything always works out for you. And I kept repeating that to myself. No matter what the decision was, I was like, everything always works out for me. So I let go of the decision. I surrendered and let go. But I knew, I put out to the universe, if I am made redundant, this is my sign that this is the path that I should be on. And if I'm not, it just means I keep going with the business for now until it is my time, right? So in terms of the manifestation box then, what did I do? So in some ways it's funny. On the last manifestation challenge, I actually felt like a little bit of a cheater. And this is why. On the last manifestation challenge, I always tell everyone, I want you to manifest the number one thing that you want in your life. And I toyed with the idea of saying, I just want to be in manifestation full time and, leave law. But I was holding myself back. And I was holding myself back because it's scary. Like, law is my identity, like, you're not supposed to identify with your career, but you do. Like, I'm a lawyer and it's scary and you've got a paycheck coming in and now you're just, that could just end. It's easier. It's safer. It is safer for me to just stay in the role as a lawyer. But I have promised myself, you're taking time to focus on this business and you are not going to look for another job for a while. Not look for another job, unless I absolutely need to. But I'm manifesting that this is going to go big and I'm going to be able to give my full on attention to it. So I should have written in the last manifestation challenge that what I really wanted was to do this manifestation. But I was scared and there was fear and there was doubt. And so one thing I gave this tip recently, and I did this when I was in France, was you're not allowed to think about it. You're not allowed to think, but when, if, the money, the time, the kids, the school, you just have to write down, if I could do anything my heart desires, it would be. And I did that in France. And I said, it would be to be full-time as a manifestation speaker, have challenges, have digital products. And I wasn't allowed to say, but, I'm a lawyer and I'm earning my money this way and the kids are in school and it's busy and it's easier. And what if it doesn't work out? You're not allowed to say, but, if, what, or think about the money, nothing. It's what your heart truly desires. So what I would suggest, even though I didn't write it specifically down here in the manifestation box for the challenge, it is something that has been in my manifestation box. What do I want? More speaking gigs, more corporate gigs, manifestation challenges. Why do I want it? Because I'm passionate about it. And then I went through all the steps. So what did I see? You could see, I still visualize myself on stage. What do I hear? I love your manifestation challenge. I love your work. How do you feel? Excited, joy? What action are you going to take? And if you think about it, I have been taking action, even though I've been working as a lawyer in this business since it launched. I'm still showing up every day. I'm still doing what I can. And finally, the seventh step is, what are you grateful for? And I have always been grateful for the job I have. Even if it's maybe not what I want to do full time, I am grateful for the company that I work for. I'm grateful for the mission that we were on, the purpose. And I never complained about my job. Even if you hate your job, you hate it, you don't like showing up, you can be grateful for something about it. You're getting paid. It's close to where you work. You get time in the car while you're commuting to listen to a podcast. Stop complaining about the job you're in, because it will never get you to the job you want. So that's the big personal news. For me personally, it's life-changing. I really don't know when I would have had the courage to leave law. And it also would have had to have been a family decision. And I found it harder to grow and expand the business when you're working. So it's like a catch-22 when you're also working at the same time. So this is effectively the push I needed. So what I will do in time is I'll do maybe a Zoom or a course on manifesting your dream job if you want a new job, or maybe if you're being made redundant. So that's it. And I feel like there was intuition there. I knew something was going to come in September 2025. And also, I started to take aligned action, even though I didn't really know what I was doing, but I kind of had a sense. And I'll give you an example. Before I ever knew that there was going to be redundancies or restructures in the company, I got a message from our fulfillment company who posts out the boxes saying that they were increasing their prices. And I made the decision at that point, no, I'm going to start doing it myself. And I don't know if that was subconsciously, I believed that I would be able to now do it because I would no longer have a job, or I was going to figure it out. But I was taking all these little steps, these aligned actions towards, well, if I do finish up in my legal career, I do need to pull the products from the fulfillment center because I can do it myself or get somebody to help me, because the purpose of the fulfillment center was I was at work And I needed someone to do this because it's full on trying to post and package your products. But now I can have a little bit more time and do it myself until it's absolutely massive. So I started to take those little steps. It was like aligned action. So if you're manifesting, remember the 7 steps. Remember the 7 steps in the manifestation box. You can use it for everything in your life, whether it's the dream job, the dream house, the soulmate, the baby, healing, more friendships, health and fitness. It does not matter. All of the steps are the same. So, final thing, don't forget to book your ticket to the Manifestation Masterclass in September 14th with Matt Cook. And also, please, if you like my vibe, please subscribe and rate and review the podcast. It really, really does help. And I'm trying to get people on like Dr. Tara Swart. I think she's my number 1 guest at the moment. Dr. Tara Swart and Joe Dispenza. And if you want people like that on the podcast, I gotta get the reviews. I gotta get the ratings. And you know what? The universe loves when you give back. What goes around comes around. So do that for me and you'll get some good karma back. I promise. Bye.